Kathy Pennell. What is the most unfortunate or fortunate chain of events that has happened to you? Earlier in the week, I spoke with my aunt. She told me something that surprised me. I had no idea this happened, but it also endeared her to me. Every summer, worry set in as polio made the rounds. We didn't discuss it, but it was always there, waiting. I would have forgotten those times except Mother contracted polio. There were 4 of us children. My sister was 8, I was 7, my younger brother was 5, and our little sister was about a year old. Mother was in the hospital shortly after this photo was taken. Dad was a wonderful actor. We had no idea how deeply worried he was. His wife was in the hospital. He loved her dearly. She was the mother of his 4 children and irreplaceable. Death from polio was not uncommon, nor was paralysis. My older and little sister stayed with our maternal grandmother in town. Our paternal grandmother moved in with us at the farm and cared for my brother and me. Finally, Mother came home to a hospital bed on the 1st floor. I can remember the exact position of that bed. It was beside a window facing the front yard. But you see, Dad was the 2nd oldest of 7 children. There were still 3 children at home that Grandma cared for. After spending considerable time with us, she needed to return home and catch up. Mother would remain in bed with physical therapy for some time. So who was to look after the children till Grandma returned? Dad had a dairy farm. Dairy farming is very unforgiving. In the summertime, it's dawn to dusk work. You don't get time off. My aunt was in high school. She had applied for and been hired by a department store for a summer job. It was her very first job. Grandma could not leave until someone else stepped up to the plate. She asked her daughter, my aunt, if she would consider taking 2 weeks' leave from her job, then Grandma would return to help us again. My aunt called personnel, that's what it was called then, and asked for 2 weeks' time off, explaining the reason. Yes, they would grant her those 2 weeks. An hour later, they called back. If she stayed at our house, exposing herself to polio, they would not allow her to return. My aunt only thought about it for a moment. This was family. She was needed. My grandmothers and aunt were very brave to help us, knowing they may very well contract polio themselves. But all 3 helped us when we needed it. I confess I'm a little teary-eyed remembering it. 57.4K views. View 5,052 upvotes.